we're doing finals prep. Now, what are we doing today? I'm prepping for finals. Okay, there's just one last final tomorrow. I have to do a big old essay, and I basically just need to make an outline with some materials here. First of all, okay, I want to get this off my chest real quick. Aristotle and all these philosophers, I feel like, just pointed out things that no one else pointed out first. But if you point them out now, people would just be like, yeah, like, you're stupid, obviously. Like if Aristotle... Okay. Alright. If Aristotle pointed out, like, let's say, well, what's one of Aristotle's theories? Something about emotions, right? Like, if Aristotle was just like, oh, people, oh, whatever. If someone was like, oh yeah, people are scared, so they do irrational things. If Aristotle pointed that out, everyone would be like, yes, you're right, Aristotle, I never thought about that way, you know? It's, your genius is awesome, teach me, you know? But now, if you say that, if you're like, oh yeah, you know, in terrorist situations, it's crazy how people just shut down. Everyone would be like, yeah, that's how people work, you freaking stoner. Like, I don't... What's up, everybody? I don't... God, like, Aristotle is just like a stoner who pointed out things, but no one else pointed them out, so he got credit for them. That's all that is. Oh, dude, like, social interaction? It's crazy, man. You say that now, you get torched. Okay, why do I bring up Aristotle? I do know it's 11:30. Do you know I have finals tomorrow? And I don't have an outline yet, so I gotta do that. We're doing On Tragedy by Aristotle. I'm going to read this. First, let me show you what I'm working with here. Let's show you what I'm working with. Let me just set this up. Alright, cool. Show you what I'm working with. We're gonna go to classroom. I don't want to dox anyone, so I'm gonna make sure to pull this off. Alright, here is what I am preparing for. Essay section. Using Aristotle's On Tragedy, analyze The Crucible by Arthur Miller and assess how well it fits Aristotle's description of a tragedy. Include information and evidence from both The Crucible and the Aristotle reading. Note, you may use an outline for this portion of the exam. A successful argumentative essay includes compelling thesis, whatever. We all know this. Procrastination is everyone's thing, okay? Doesn't matter who you are, you procrastinate. And you know what? Whatever, okay? Would I have liked to do this in advance? Yeah. But I had other stuff to do. So we're doing it now. So here's my game plan. This is a nightmare. Can you not hear me? Procrastination is everyone's thing. No matter who you are, you procrastinate. And you know what? Audio's fine, right? Audio's fine. Don't... Listen, the audio is fine, okay? I'm listening to a preview here, and I can hear myself. Okay? Audio's fine, right? Alright, so don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. That's creepy. Okay. We'll bring the mic closer. Listen. Alright, well, okay, I'll turn myself up. Jeez. Okay. Alright. Let's do this. Let's go. So, first we're gonna read On Tragedy. Write down things that are that that mean tragedy? Does that make sense? We're gonna analyze this. Then we're going to take that information, plug it into the Crucible, and write our outline from that. So that's our game plan. Let's do this. On Tragedy by Aristotle. Aristotle. If feel free to fall asleep if you're wanting to do that. As a sequel to what has already been said, we must proceed to consider what, you know what, I think it's, listen, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry, I wish I could be bored, but I'm actually, alright, let's dive deep into this. I think I have a printout somewhere. Ah, right here. Let's do this. As the sequel to what has already been said, we must proceed to consider what the poet should aim at, and what he should avoid in constructing his plots, and by what means the specific effect of tragedy will be produced. Off the bat, don't know what he's talking about. Let's continue. A perfect tragedy, as we have seen, be arranged not on the simple, but on the complex plan. See, that's what I'm saying. If Aristotle said that, everyone's losing their minds. You say that now, you look like an idiot. Dude, a perfect tragedy needs to be, like, not simple, but, like, kind of low-key complex. Do you know what I'm saying? Shut up, Aristotle. Your stupid books. Stupid books. Alright. Okay. But on the complex plan, it should, moreover, imitate actions which excite pity and fear. This being the distinctive mark of tragic imitation. It follows plainly, in the first place, that the change of fortune presented must not be the spectacle of a virtuous man, brought from prosperity to adversity. For this moves neither pity nor fear. It merely shocks us, nor again that of a bad man passing from adversity to prosperity. You're alive too? Hold on. Wait. Hold on. You're alive too? You're alive too, huh? You're alive right now.
Honey Fire, I think. He's
What?
Honey Fire. He's live streaming himself doing his homework.
Manny 5.
Or he's not really my friend. I just know him from school.
Do you mean Manny? How do you say that?
What?
Your friend. How do you say his name?
His name is Alo, but his YouTube name is.
Bro, why are you
Honey
doxing
Fire.
me? How are you out here
Honey
doxing
Fire.
me to a stranger?
Yeah, well, he's not really my friend, but I know him.
Wow, I check out your stream and you say I'm not your friend. Who I don't
Yeah,
actually know who you are in YouTube. Yeah, wait. Yeah, that's that. Okay, that's what I thought. Oh, you changed your name. That's why. Yeah, you changed your name. I thought, you know what?
Yeah, but if I do one time, I don't find him. Nah. Hey, can you leave?
So who are you? Who's Sid the Kid, man?
It is kicking me every time. I don't know.
All right,
You
we're
got
done with
kicked out
this.
again?
We're done with this. We're gonna keep doing this homework. Where was I before I was rudely interrupted? By the way, I am live too. Hold on, let me just. Oh yeah, I can't find who asked. All right, let's continue, shall we? Okay. It possesses no single tragic quality. It neither satisfies the moral sense nor calls for pity or fear, nor again should the downfall of the utter villain be exhibited. A plot of this kind doubtless satisfy the moral sense, but it would inspire neither pity nor fear, for pity is aroused by unmerited misfortune, fear by the misfortune of a man like yourselves. Such an event, therefore, will be neither pitiful nor terrible. There remains, then, the character between these two extremes, that of a man who is eminently famous, respected, or successful, good and just, yet whose misfortune is brought about not by vice nor depravity, but by some error of judgment or frailty. He must be one who is highly renowned and prosperous, a personage like these people. I hate every single bit of this. I want to die. A well-constructed plot should therefore be single. Speak English! God! Why do you do this? I get it. You are talking before Christ was born. Wait, BCE. Before Christ. Do you think... Did this guy... Was this guy around when... Never mind. Yeah, that was Cain. Okay, rather than doubt, as some maintain, the change of fortune should be not from bad to good, but reversely, from good to bad. It should come about as a result. I mean, he just read your name. He just read your username. But of great, at first the poets kind of, where do I know him from? School. I don't know. Now the best tragedies are founded on the story of a few houses, on the fortunes of these people and those others who have done or suffered something terrible. A tragedy then to be perfect according to the rules of art. Oh. Judo stuff, man. I don't know. Art, the best proof is that on second rank from tragedy, like an Odyssey, catastrophe. The pleasure, however, is prosper rather than comedy, where those who in peace are the deadliest enemies, like Orestes. Quit the stage as friends at the close, and no one slays or is slain. Aristotle, you need to chill. Okay, you need to chill, and you need to stop talking. Just stop talking, because I hate you. I don't like Aristotle. Aristotle, look at him. Look at his face. Clearly not a cool guy. Now, Alexander the Great. Now, that guy's cool. The other guy. Aristotle, however, my hair is not looking the best this stream. Oh, well. Who cares? Well, whatever. So, what have we learned from this? Okay, we're just gonna write on my paper here. Things make up tragedy. Okay. 1. It needs to be complex. Oh. Small world. Okay, tragedy needs to be complex. Tragedy also needs to excite. Is that what it says? Yeah. It needs to excite pity and fear. And fear. It needs to excite pity and fear. Yes, Kanan is a loud person. Yeah. Goodbye. It needs to excite pity or fear. However, that's all I found here. This is the distinctive mark of tragic imitation. It follows plainly in the first place that the change of fortune presented. Oh yeah. It can't just be, oh, things are going great. Now things are not going great. That's a tragedy. You can't do that. It needs to eat you from the inside out. By the time it's tragic, you're dead already. That's a tragedy. So basically, that's a tragedy. It needs to eat you from the inside out. You can't just be like, you know, things are going great. And now, it's not. Don't do that. For examples, things can not go great. However, you need to kind of see that already. You know? Gotta see that already. It can't just hit you. Because if it just hits you, then it's not the same. Not the same. Same thing for the villain. You know? Basically, you can't just be a basic drop. There remains then the character. Okay, so characters. So this is for plot. This is characters. The characters, between these two extremes, that of a man who is not eminently good and just yet whose misfortune is brought not by vice or depravity, but by some error of judgment or frailty. Can we get a... Can we get a... Decline in late life. So, dying, basically. He must be one who is highly renowned and prosperous, a personage. Okay, so they... Shut up, Aristotle. You are such... Okay. There remains then the character between two extremes, that of a man who is not good, just yet whose misfortune is brought not by vice or depravity, but by some error of judgment or dying. Okay, so basically, characters dying. It can't just be. Whose misfortune is so okay, yeah. So their misfortune is dragged on, right? It's not like vice, bad or immoral behavior, and depravity. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I'm using my resources. Don't judge me, okay? Moral corruption or wickedness. So it can't just be like, he is, bad. These mean the same thing. It can't just mean he's bad. It needs to be, he did something wrong. But he's not a bad person. You know who that reminds me of? Mr. John Proctor. Bingo. Okay, so characters, what does it say? They're, was not that good, and just yet whose misfortune is not okay. So, character needs to what is this describing exactly? Just the character himself. The character himself isn't that bad of a person. He just did a bad thing. Sure, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Things like, so let's, in layman's terms, if you're not freaking 453 million years old, it's basically just saying, he's a good guy. But he did a boo-boo. Like me. I'm kidding. Anyway. Okay. Where is it? What was I saying? Something dark side. A well-constructed plot should therefore be single in its issue rather than double as maintain. Rather than double as some maintain. Oh, I see. The change of fortune should not be from bad to good, but reverse from good to bad. Change of fortune. Ah! Change of fortune. Change of fortune. Plot. Change of fortune. Not bad to good, but good to bad. Okay, real quick. He has a bunch of these words that we have to memorize for the final tomorrow. and he lets us use an outline, I really just want to just put all the definitions somewhere in my outline. But I don't know if he's going to check it. Is that cheating, or is that just using my noggin? Using my resources? Friends, you're going to make me know all this, as well as make an essay, as well as know trivia from the Crucible? Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Okay? I don't want to... If he... I don't want it. I don't want it. What is this? What does it say? What does it say? What does it say? Huh? What does it say? You think you're clever? You think you're clever? Okay? We'll say simplified, because you're a simp. If I clenched your hands... Okay, maybe... Maybe traditional? Then... What does that mean? If I clenched your hands. Is that some Aristotle thing? What? Guide to cleaning clenched fists. Okay, I'm done with this rabbit hole. Next meme. Anyways, what have we summed up from this? Things can't be simple. You cannot be a simp. Things need to do certain emotions. The plot can't be dry, and the fortune in it can't go from bad to good. It has to go to good from bad, because yes, this is a tragedy. 9/11 didn't go from good to bad. 9/11 didn't go to bad from good. It went from good to bad. Everyone was having a good day. It was a sunny Thursday. Was it a Thursday? Tuesday. It was a sunny Tuesday. People were just going to work. It was a great day. Sun is shining. Then a plane crashed into the buildings. A lot of people died. I'm not going to check the group chat. A lot of people died. That was a tragedy. 9/11 was a tragedy. How does 9/11 fit into on tragedy? It went from good to bad. Characters in 9/11 were probably good people who just did bad things. Did it excite pity and fear? Of course it did. Lots of fear. A lot of pity. I feel bad for the people who passed away on 9/11. I do. They have my pity. What is going on? So, we need to plug this in. We need to make a good case. So how does that relate to the Crucible? I have a quick email. Actually, so that I don't dox my teacher by accidentally like leaking his email or something. Don't do this shit. Okay. I'm going to find the email, copy paste it, and we'll go on from there. Aha, found it. Alright, here's some of the feedback that I have. Although there has been a lot said and a lot to say about a tragedy since Aristotle, be sure to stick with his original text when discussing foundation and framework. You know, a lot of people Put it in layman's terms. You know, you state in your own words, addition to quoting text, but do not include elements from other sources. So for my final exam, do not talk about 9/11. That'd be a good thing. I don't know if we're gonna have these sources on me. I'm pretty. It would be unfair if we didn't. So I'm just gonna assume that we do. What else? The downfall of a hero. Aristotle would most likely disagree due to the archetype of a hero, but a tragic hero or flawed hero may be an appropriate revision. So there you go. John Proctor, flawed hero. That could be a good revision. He was not. He was just trying to be a good person, even though he didn't agree with things. It's like when people say, "I'm Christian." You know, when people say, "Are you religious?" I'm a Christian. You know, like, I'm Christian, but I don't go to church on Sundays, and sometimes you know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, like, you're not a bad person. You know, you still pick up trash off the streets once in a while. It's just, yeah. So yeah. A villain. It would be incorrect to state that Abigail is the sole villain of the story. She was subject to strict ordinance of the Salem theocracy, and that leaders ultimately carried out the sentence. It is more complicated infrastructure that creates the conflict in the crucible, so don't forget to think Holly's. Okay, alright, teacher, yes, you're an honors English, but don't think you can just use these words and make us and just think we're gonna understand them, because, you know, we're not gonna understand that. So you know what, I'll do it for you. I'll help you out, friend. I don't know what that says. Holix. Here it is. Alright. We'll look it up for you, bud. In a way that is characterized by comprehension. Okay, so just thinking about it. Got it. You could just say it. You could just say it like that, but you know, I guess you being complicated is funny too. That's like me always saying words from the Old Testament. Yeah, they make sense, but no one reads the Old Testament and just understands it. Don't quote me on that. Okay. In John Proctor, there should be a mention of the guilt that he cannot ultimately shed, and also his never faltering fight against corruption. He was the main voice in wanting to rid Salem of the lies, but this tragically meant thanks for the hint, bud. Tragically meant that he had to go to, even though his lies were some different. Also, reminder. Okay, so we can obviously say, so who is the villain here? Does it have to be a person? Obviously, he said they carried out the ultimate sentences. So these leaders, what the hell is his name? Danforth? Dude, Reverend Hale. Bro, Reverend Hale is the GOAT. Danforth, you're a villain. Sorry, man, you killed a lot of people, you're a villain. Sorry, bud. Oopsie doopsie. Dude. This man, I know I called him a Redditor. Reverend Hale? Dude. See, Reverend John Hale, he is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. He said, "This is BS. You guys are crazy." Oh goodness. I stan Reverend Hale. If there's anyone I stan, it's Reverend Hale. Sorry, I do though. Strength. Courageously wants to fight the devil. Ends up overall and confused. He kind of was, but you know what? We still love him for that. He's the GOAT. He's what we need in our life. Don't forget that. The Crucible. The Crucible. Okay, who's the villains in the Crucible? The Crucible. Okay, so I think the tragedy would be everyone dying. Obviously. So everyone dying, especially John Proctor, that is the tragedy. The villain would be the leaders who carried out the orders. People like Danforth. That one guy in the beginning who was praying because the girl was just tired and sleeping. What the hell's her name? His name. Reverend Paris. Yeah, those people. Screw them. A lot of bad people. Another person who is a GOAT. Giles. Giles is a GOAT. Just saying, he is the GOAT. They were gonna. He wanted people to. He wanted him to snitch. He said more weight, and he died because they put rocks on his chest. Give that man. I should do that. I should do a tier list. Crucible characters. The hero would be John Proctor. Or the main character would be John Proctor. Alright, so we have now we have a foothold on this essay. We kind of know what we want to say. I just don't know how I want to say it. So now we go into drafting. And I know, okay, well, we said an argumentative essay. For once, I'm going to take a page at a... So here we go. He said, revisit the documents, symbols, themes, blah, blah. Here we go. Offer multiple examples and literary techniques that qualify the Crucible as a tragedy or make the Crucible not a tragedy. I'm just gonna write it. The Crucible is a tragedy. Just gonna say it. It's a tragedy. Use evidence, blah blah blah. I think we should comb through some of our work so that we can find maybe just like some easy pickouts. Things like John Proctor getting cucked over, maybe Reverend Hale stepping in to show how just like stupid they are. Using Aristotle's tragedy. So for an argumentative essay, it says to make multiple accurate examples. I'm just gonna go with 3, and these 3 are it's complex, it excites pity and fear, and I'm just gonna say the character John Proctor, he's not a simp. There we go. So with that, we're gonna do. Oh boy, we're gonna get into our outline, also known as you guys want to make a meat paragraph together? It's time to make a meat paragraph. MEAEAEAD. Ameate. That's right, buds. Today we're making a meat paragraph, because meat paragraphs, yes, they suck, but also they're really easy to compile, and teachers like them. So give the teachers what they want, right? I'm only here to pass. So, our main topic. The Crucible. By Arthur Miller is a tragedy according. Oh, you know what? We're gonna go. The Crucible fits into Aristotle's idea of a tragedy. Whatever, yeah, we'll just say it. Idea of a tragedy because the Crucible excites pity and fear. Is complex and has a complex hero in the form of John Proctor. Boom. That's it. We got our 3 points. That's pity and fear, complex character, complex plot. Now we need to talk about. First, we gotta slip Abigail's little butt in there. It would be oh no, we gotta talk about. There should be a mention of his guilt that he cannot ultimately shed. That guilt is actually very important because it ties into how complex of a character he is. So be sure to put that on this outline here. John Proctor, JP, my boy. Jake Paul, you know, I just noticed JP is also for Jake Paul, so, you know, I'm just going to erase that and put his full name. John Proctor. Is complex because of the complicated affair with Abigail. His hate, not necessarily his hate, his fight versus corruption in Salem, as well as him, as well as not being the best Christian in the world. I'm tired. God, I'm tired. Okay. So this paper basically is just going to outline our it's just my thoughts on the bare surface of this. So I think we should first talk about, maybe we should grab some quotes. Yeah, you know what? Let's grab some quotes. I think grabbing quotes is good. So first we need a quote about. No. Let's just write it. Let's just write this first. Okay, so first. Because it's an argumentative essay, we'll be doing this in points. So we're going to say ME evidence. The crucible, okay, so yeah, we'll start with that. The crucible excites pity and fear throughout its story because of the mass because of the mass and unfair executions that take place, as well as the hypocrisy that that is there as well. These elements build pity. These elements help build pity in build pity for the characters in the play. Okay, so like, here's my thing. Not every single piece of evidence needs a quote. You can, like, a lot of people, some teachers do this or not, it's a toss-up, but you don't always have to have, quote, this is why, blah, blah, blah. You can just paraphrase it. You can just be like, because, you know, in the Crucible, there are people who die. That is my evidence. There are people who die in the Crucible. That's what I'm talking about. Right? Like, and then also the unfair executions that take place, that is your evidence. And then if they say, well, where are you getting this evidence? The whole story is about them dying. It, you know, and it helps you build pity for these characters. You could add a quote. Maybe this part, the whole, as well as hypocrisy that is there as well. Maybe, yeah, this part, from these elements, build pity, that can be your A. But this part, the Crucible excites fear and pity throughout its story because of the mass and unfair executions that take place, as well as the hypocrisy that is there as well. That's your evidence. People dying. Do you want to slip a quote of people dying? If the doctor orders it. But it's kind of ridiculous how they just always ask you for a quote. Like, you've read the story as well. You don't need to really have a quote, right? Anywho. Offers multiple literature. Uses evidence. So, yeah, right here. Uses evidence from both the play and the article to support the analysis. Doesn't really mean a quote. No. No, it doesn't. Just evidence. You know? Do people always quote you in court? No, they just tell you. You were here at this time. Okay, yes, people do quote people in court, but that's not always, you know. So yeah, these elements build pity for characters in the play. According to Aristotle's on tragedy. You know what? No. This is all our evidence. This is where we can slip a quote in. Just disregard everything I said. If it is, if it is very easy for you to slip a quote in, teachers eat that up. But if it's hard and you don't feel like looking for a quote, then just try and paraphrase. But if you just slip that quote in, they're just like, oof, you stated your quote. I like that. Talking to you, Miss Chavez. every time you quote and it's a good quote, she's always like, "Ooh yeah, that's a good quote." Any bees. According to on tragedy, it says right here. Oh, you know what? You know what? I have it somewhere. Wait, no, not that. Can I just do ... Yeah, I'm going to do that. A perfect should ... imitate actions which excite pity and fear. End quote. Pity and... Okay, I'm sorry about the camera because my head always dips down, but I don't really have any other way to do that. Pity and fear. This shows analysis by recklessly killing by recklessly having by having reckless by having oh my gosh, this is like bookworm. You know when bookworm, how you remove words to make a bigger word, and it's like, oh, fantastic, great, awesome, excellent. This is me right now. By creating, by having the townspeople in the crucible. By having the townspeople in the crucible, what is the word I'm looking for? By having them unrightfully hanged. By having them by having the townspeople in the crucible be executed. Die. Okay, by having the townspeople in the crucible die to such false BS claims, it instills fear in the characters as well as pity for the for the reader, thus making it a perfect tragedy. Done. Boom. MEA. That is our first reason. In the can. Thank me later. We got 2 more of these to go. This is why people off themselves. I have so much to do tomorrow. I really wish that finals just never existed. I wish they were like, you know what? You've been doing very good in class. I see that you've been doing all the work while not. I see that you excel. Let's just. No, we're done. We're done for the quarter. But no, they're like, you know what? I see that you've been doing fine, and some people aren't doing fine. Let's just screw both of them over by giving them huge ass final. Just so that I can just be like, oh, there you go. Do you really understand? Even though you understood everything else before it, let's see if you ultimately understand everything. Like, if I didn't understand, I wouldn't be doing good in your class. And if that's the case, then you shouldn't even be giving me a final if I'm not doing good, because I'm gonna fail. The point of a final, I feel like the point of a final is just to be like, recap. But if you're just doing all the work beforehand, there's no point in recapping it. Does that make sense? Yes, it makes sense if it's just like, oh yeah, this is all we did the quarter. Here's a huge test on everything we did in the quarter. But if, like, you already gave us an individual test, so why do you need to have it all at once? It's just stupid. You're just overloading our brains to fail. Stupid. It's so dumb. It's retarded. Okay. Next. The Crucible is complex. Should we just cut it down to 2? I don't really... Can I make my claim in 2? I think I can, because if it's a complex character, it's a complex story. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, if you cut corners, you just go around in circles. But honestly, I think this is just... If I try... Like, if I have 2 really good claims and 1 terrible one, it brings down the whole article. If I just have really good 2 claims, I don't see why I need a 3rd one. You know what I'm saying? A complex character in the form of John Proctor. John Proctor is probably John Proctor is for John Proctor. Oh my god, I'm tired. Bubble yum. You guys ever have bubble yum? It tastes good for 5 minutes and then it tastes like nothing. Just a block of sugar. Okay. Oh, there we go. Come on, Olive, put your head in the game. Alright. John Proctor. Wow. I am... Oh, boy. I need some music. I need some music. Maybe I should end the stream. Maybe live streaming something is not good when you're trying to focus. Alright. Bye-bye. That's probably a good thing. Because, gosh, I'm drawing a blank here. Oh my god. Yeah. Wish me luck. Goodbye. Goodbye. Love you guys. I don't love you guys. I'm sorry that. No, I do love you guys. You guys are cool. Goodbye.